I'm not a baby, I'm a tumor.
Welcome back to the VHS Vault. I am VHS Jace, and with me is the great Jason Roy Gaston. Tonight I'm excited. Am I really excited? Not really. I'm excited a lot, but I'm even more excited tonight because tonight, Jason, we're watching a film which I consider in my top 5 of favorite comic book films of all time. My personal pick. It is up there. I love this film a lot.
I am right there with you, and no one ever talks about it. And I really hope that we can open some eyes and get some dialogue going, because today we're taking a look at Guillermo del Toro's masterpiece, yes, masterpiece, Hellboy II, The Golden Army.
Not only does it sit in my top 5, but clearly it's in yours as well. It's also way even higher in the realms of a sequel that is better than the original.
Indeed,
and
yes.
I really do feel they have done this with Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. In overall, everything's scaled up. Obviously, you got a bit more money this time to play with, but just the plot, the introduction of new characters, the tone of the film, it's just, and of course, Guillermo del Toro's not only ability with the camera, but his visual sense makes this like a fusion of fairy tales, myths, and superheroes in this glorious collage of just wonderful stuff.
Do you want to know, watching this movie, the emotion that I got out of it most was tragedy. And it happens so many times. In particular, whenever the giant, I don't know what you would call it, the giant plant nymph, whenever they defeat him, it's not one of those, hands in the air, pumping, yay, we defeated it. But it's sad. It's sad because you feel like you're looking at something unique, something ancient, and something that we'll never see again just pass from the world. And it's not the only time that happens. So there's
the only time it happens in his films, though, Jason. This is the magic of this director. That he's like James Gunn would be the other one I could immediately think of being able to infuse heart and soul into characters that you would not initially think, like Weasel, for example, with James Gunn, and The Shape of Water being another movie I can think of. Obviously, Hellboy 2. Apparently, his new movie Frankenstein's very much a tragedy as well, and it just creates so much depth, doesn't it?
It's going along with the book, then.
Yeah, that's it. Someone's actually paying attention this time. No, it's like, it's a beautiful. It's a fairy tale in many ways. I think that's the best term I can think of for this movie, and I have nothing but admiration for them doing something so bold and different, because it hasn't been done since.
No, this is a movie with, I don't know, I would have never thought that Hellboy 2 would be such an intellectual deep dive and an emotional roller coaster. And it is. It takes you everywhere. And again, it seems like nobody talks about this movie anymore. And granted, whenever it was released at the stupidest time. Because I think they released it, 1 week before The Dark Knight hit theaters, or Batman hit theaters. So
and Iron Man was still making money, like, at that point too. It was right in the middle of that. Yeah, it couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been. But at the same time, it was just unfortunate because I don't think anyone, well, you should have been betting on The Dark Knight, but I don't think anyone expected those two seminal films to come out the same, and then which to me is up there in standard. It just missed out, I think it also suffered from poor marketing. I think a lot of people were confused what this film was. I don't think if you go back and watch the trailers, maybe it wasn't clear what it was. But as you watch the film, you don't have any of that confusion. Hell, even the villain of this piece, the setup of that, the way they introduce it, I love obviously stop animation, and I just love that because he's telling the story to a young Hellboy. that they do it in those figures. Love that. That there's tragedy there too, Jay.
Yes.
Like the villain isn't without a need, a want, emotions as we get later on in the film as well. Played by Luke Goss. Now
he does an amazing job in this movie too.
I don't know if you know, but Luke Goss and his brother were part of a very popular boy band in the late 80s called Bros. They were huge.
I've never heard of them.
My wife used to have their poster up on her wall as a teenager. They were huge in Europe and Australia. They were massive.
There does not seem to be a lot of crossover music between the West and Europe and Australia.
No. We get both though. We get a bit more.
Who's Robbie Williams? We don't know who this person is. Why is he a monkey?
Stars in Europe all the time. Like Kylie Minogue, I think Americans heard like she's one of the biggest artists in the world.
No, we know Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, of course.
We know her. Of course we do.
She played Cam in Street Fighter. Hey, of course you know her. Yeah, she did.
Okay.
I got lost now. Well, I had a train of thought. A really important.
No, she was in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, she was that as well.
So that's probably why we know.
Neighbours is where she came from, the great Aussie icon sitcom that is Neighbours. Is now just had finally its finale. So, yeah.
Neighbours
anyway,
is over?
How.
I didn't know
Neighbours got over and then it got resurrected. Now it's over again.
Oh my gosh, it's like Futurama.
Yeah, it's like 40 years that show went for. It's crazy.
Wow.
Like people like Guy Pearce come from there, Kylie Minogue, the Hemsworths, like some of our biggest exports. Ben Mendelsohn, Krennic was in Neighbours playing a little cocky kid teenager. Like it's crazy.
Oh, I couldn't imagine that.
Anyway, back to Hellboy. It's a beautiful film. I really like Luke Goss's performance, and the point was he was also the villain in Blade 2, and he was excellent at that.
He was, yes.
Vampire.
So Guillermo del Toro didn't want to. He really didn't want to change course with that, did he?
No. Yeah, so it's beautiful. The stylistics, I think, the look of the film, the production value is very different than I think Hellboy. Hellboy has that bit more gothic look. This is obviously a lot golden army is kind of seems to be the motif. And I think that's where the film works too, because rather than trying to hit the same beats as the first one, they transport to a whole new underground world. So, and I think that's because it really enriches it. That underwater, like that underground sequence when they go to the markets, all that. It's a visual feast. Like there's no CGI happening in there. It was all animatronic puppetry. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, I think he used a little bit of CGI to tweak some of the facial expressions. But yeah, overall, it's all in camera. It all looks fantastic. I mean, a lot of this reminded me of this old 80s movie called Little Monsters, where this little boy goes underneath the bed and he's in the land of monsters. I don't know. That's what the troll marketplace reminded me of. But yeah, I loved this movie's ability to take you to new lands, to take you to the most imaginative location, to meet the most imaginative creatures. I mean, when Doug Jones appeared in his second role as Death in this movie, oh my God. That is one of the craziest makeup and costuming jobs I have ever seen. And it just goes to show what an absolute powerhouse Doug Jones is.
He gets to shine here too.
He does, and he's not overdubbed. That is Doug Jones' voice, and honestly, I didn't even realize it at first because I just thought, oh, that's David Hyde Pierce again. No, that's Doug Jones. Doug Jones doing his own voice this time, which I think is amazing.
Yeah,
and I love because I read some more up on the last movie. Yeah. The reason why they brought in David Hyde Pierce, not David Hyde Pierce. That's the dude from. No, is it David Hyde Pierce?
From Frasier, yeah. It's the way.
Yeah, okay. For some reason, I got him. For some reason, I said that, and I was like, no, that's the dude from that '70s show. Anyway, they got him to come in to overdub Doug Jones' voice because they thought, oh, that's star power. That'll get more people in. And then Pierce was like, yeah, I'm not going to do any kind of advertisements for this movie because I don't want to overshadow Doug Jones because he did amazing work. So all that just kind of backfired on them. They didn't get any of the studio didn't get any of the what do you call it? The publicity from having David Hyde Pierce in this movie.
The reason you get him to do the voice is for marketing reasons.
Yeah, and he wouldn't do the marketing because he respected Doug Jones too much.
Yeah,
because honestly, who wouldn't? If I would not overshadow Doug Jones at all. Yeah. I wouldn't even want to step into frame if I wasn't even necessary, because the guy is just that amazing. Just not only the performances, not only the amazing facial work that he does. I mean, come on, he acted his way through all that latex like it was nothing. And he did it every week on Star Trek Discovery, and he did it
Shape of Water, Academy Award-winning movie.
And it's just
unbelievable in that.
His physicality and everything is just, I don't understand why he's not a bigger star than what he is. And I know everybody loves Doug Jones, but if you go up to an average person and say, hey, what do you think of Doug Jones? They'll say, who?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I just feel like he needs more recognition.
He has two massive strengths. Not only is he an unbelievable physical performer, but when he is allowed to do dialogue, there's an authenticity that he brings.
Yes.
And usually to unreal characters, he has to bring this humanity and authenticity to those roles. That is unbelievable skill set. You cannot deny the fact that that man is a very, very talented, because most actors with just a little bit of makeup, they're freaking out in the makeup chair, let alone being on set for 16 hours a day in said makeup, delivering Academy Award level performances. It's incredible.
Absolutely. And I also don't want to overlook Ron Perlman, who is also incredible in this movie. And this is another guy who is just used to acting with all kinds of weird stuff glued to his face. I mean, if you grew up in the 80s, you saw the old Beauty and the Beast TV show where he was, I hadn't, but I did. Why am I so attracted to this monster? That and I'm going to get into a Star Trek soapbox right here. I hate Star Trek Nemesis. And one of the reasons why I hate it is because they took Ron Perlman and wasted him. And he was great in the few scenes that he had. He was awesome. He acted his way through that makeup, and he was great. And then they wasted him. And then he comes back for this one, and he's Hellboy. He's instantly Hellboy. I cannot think of Hellboy without thinking of Ron Perlman.
And the little nuance in this performance, I felt, is in Hellboy, he's very much a teenager. He's slightly, not fully, but slightly a little bit more mature and world weary. So he's like in his early 20s in his mindset now.
He is still kind of a brat, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a moron too.
I'm just thinking of that.
I think Liz is still mad at me. She's still on the same channel. Oh, well, that explains his level of who he is. Well,
he also has this struggle with empathy. I think he has a struggle empathizing and seeing where other people come from, and I think that is best demonstrated in that initial scene with Liz whenever she's upset because there's no place to put any of her things.
She's living with a hoarder.
And she just doesn't get it. Which, honestly, I can kind of understand why Hellboy would be a hoarder. Why he would want to hang on to things, because he's not allowed to be part of the world, so he's grabbing all these pieces of the world that he can. But at the same time, I'm just like, of course she's mad at you. You used her toothbrush in with cat food. I don't even know how you did that. Why did you even do that, Hellboy?
Doesn't care. No, they're all wonderful performances. Everyone all the way around. The introducing of, to me, one of my favorite characters from this film is Mr. Klaus, Dr. Klaus.
Yes.
Who is a great
Klaus from American Dad. That's basically who he
Seth
was.
MacFarlane. Yeah, it's Seth MacFarlane. But it's pre-American Dad, so maybe, But Jonathan Kraus is Johann Kraus is just, he brings the levity where it needs to be, but he also adds this, he's really good for exposition in this film too.
Yes.
Like, so he's a great character for that, because you would not only do you think he's funny and you enjoy watching him, but he does have pivotal things to help drive the plot forward. So great addition, I thought, was absolutely. And one of the other thing is the army itself. When you see images of the Golden Army, you think, yeah, I don't know, they kind of look that foreboding. But hell, boy, do they pardon the bad pun, do they bring it in the action scenes? They are formidable. And there are times throughout this film that you don't know whether your characters are going to get out of the situation. And that's a big kudos, because they don't, like I said, stand one next to it. It kind of, you're expecting it to, give a little child a flower or something. It doesn't look formidable, but yeah, they're great.
I think the fact that they made the insides look red hot really brought the menace to them. I thought they were great, and I love the action sequences. I found it very clever seeing how Hellboy would chop his way through, seeing how much Abe was invested in what was going on, because he was in love with Princess Nuala.
Yeah, and that was lovely too. That was really nice.
It really was. It was a sweet little romance. Poor Abe. And I really liked the way that they used Klaus in the fight as well. Just using his ectoplasmic ability to control other objects. It's just like, oh, that's very clever. I like that.
It's one of those things when you see the character, I've never seen a character like that, because I have never read the comics. I didn't know that character existing. But wow, so unique. It was so refreshing to have a superhero with powers or abilities you don't never see. Like, he's literally, he's smoke. He's ectoplasm. So what he can do is, like, when he animates the little, by the way, how amazing are the tooth fairies? This is what he does. He takes traditional myths and stories and fairy tales, and he puts his Gamel twist on it. And every time it's like he makes junk food into gourmet meals. And that's what he did with the tooth fairies. Love them.
I would just love to see this guy around his children, just, hello, are you waiting for the tooth fairy? Yes, Papa, I'm waiting for the tooth fairy. You know it will eat you, right? There's like millions of them, and they will come down in a cloud of nothing but teeth and bloodlust, and they will tear you down to your bones. Good night.
Good night. He tells the best.
I want to live with mommy.
Apparently his house has giant, he's very much Gamel. Like, his style, like, there's a life-size Frankenstein in the foyer. There's
there were. I would be disappointed if there wasn't.
It's just
Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is somebody who I would just love to just hang around with for a whole evening, just to soak in the weird vibes.
He's also, we haven't spoken about this franchise, and one day when Marvel eventually decides to make it, probably with a different actor at this point, we will do the Blade retrospective series. But his Blade 2, stands by like Hellboy 2 as the best of that franchise.
Oh, most definitely. And another Blade tragic story. The dude loves his tragedy.
He loves his tragedy, but so much better to have that, isn't it? Rather than some of this vapid stuff that we've been fed. At some points throughout the last 20 years, this actually thing has real emotions. It's big things. It's just so visually unique. And you wonder why, besides the release date, I still don't hear enough people talking about this. Like you said, this thing came out on Blu-ray and all that. It's been out for a while. And I just think people have forgotten about it, because there are other editions now of Hellboy that we will be tackling, obviously. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it kind of got lost. The funny thing to go, though, it wasn't a flop financially, this film.
No.
It actually made its budget back, I do believe. Let me just bring up the details, which I had them here. Then I scrolled down. With a budget of $82.5 million budget, right? Look at the scale of this film.
Yeah. This is a guy who knows how to use his budget, yeah.
Yeah, this is biggest budget. Looks as big as The Dark Knight and Iron Man for sure, visually. I would table and just go from the scale of it, especially with the big, plant kaiju scene and all that kind of thing. It's visually big. There's no way they did theirs for under 200 million. So yeah, $82 million budget. Every cent is on the screen, clearly. it brought home $168 million, and that was domestically. So I don't think it was a financial failure from a global perspective. It made its money, which is weird why we never got any more.
I think it made money, but it didn't make as much money as the studio wanted it to. And sometimes sometimes that is the rub. That it makes money, but not as much as we wanted. The Power Rangers movie, for example. Yeah. It made money, just not as much as the studios thought it should make, and so they didn't do another one.
They didn't do another one, yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things. I still think timing. I think The Hobbit has a lot to blame for wasting Gamel's talents for too many years, because he got wrapped up in that after this.
Oh yeah.
And that took 4 or 5 years of development, and he didn't end up doing it. And we get those films from Peter Jackson. But yeah, nevertheless, this is one of his, in a filmography that is pretty untouchable at this point. I don't see too many massive duds. Even his first film here, Mimic, about the giant cockroach guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mate, every one of his films, there's no duds there. There's no real flops. I see just always interesting work. So, but this is one of these films too, Jason. Like, the audience, I don't think kind of got it as well, because according to Rotten Tomatoes, which I've got here, the critics gave it an 86%. 80, means, if there were 10 critics in a room, 8.5 of them went, this film is pretty rad. But in that same screening with 10 audience members, it got a 71%. So 7 people like it and 3 went, I don't like it.
Well, it's
one of those weird things where the critics are better, got a higher rating than the film audience.
Well, I do think that this movie is kind of genre defying, and it doesn't play by rules that people expect them to play by. So, I could see, I don't want to sound like I'm being a snob here, but the average film goer, I don't think, has an appreciation for things that go out too far outside their box.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's one of the things, anytime I hear somebody say, well, why don't they make more original movies? I'm like, well, because you guys don't go watch them. That's why.
No. No. This year seems a little bit different, but no. Yeah. They don't. And especially at that time too, it's such a uniquely different approach to a superhero film. Fairly early on in the peak of the genre. I always consider from 2000 to now as being the golden age of comic book films. Still, 2004, 2008 is pretty early on in that bracket to be doing something so unique. That if this come out today, those versions come out today, I think the audience would be far more open to embracing it, because they've been trained at this point. And I think the audiences were still kind of a little bit, I mean, how couldn't you embrace Elektra? Come on, people.
I don't know. I mean, I love weird movies. I love movies that mess with things like storytelling style and genre, and I would love. I don't know. I just, things like that just speak to me. So movies like Hellboy II speak to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm very similar like that. I mean, that's hence why I love. Oh my God, I just had the tip of my tongue. M. Night Shyamalan's most amazing superhero film that he made that wasn't a superhero film. Unbreakable. Like, I love that because that's genre bending, right? That's taking the genre and approaching it from a different angle. And and that's a film that is divisive too. Always, I'm with my kind when everyone goes, oh my God, Unbreakable is incredible. And I know when I'm not with my kind, because people go, I didn't get it. So, and I think this is probably sits in that same kind of bus, doesn't it? Like,
oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. But I love it. Yeah.
And a classic. But the tragedy about this film is the fact this was the last time Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman got to play these roles as director and then obviously as the actor. But yeah, and I think that's the tragedy now watching it. It's like, I cannot believe there wasn't more of this.
I'm still hoping that, and I know that the actors have all kind of aged out of being able to do this, but you know what? Let's have an animated.
Have Selma anymore though, could you?
Yeah, Selma, who's unfortunately she's got, I think, MS, I think.
Yeah,
but
she does have good days and bad days. But you know.
But you know what? Let's do an animated conclusion.
Yes,
let's just do that. An animated conclusion in the style of Predator, Killer of Killers, and just wrap the story up. It can't cost that much, and I'm sure these actors would love to come back and finish this up.
Well, I'll tell you what, the
I would
audience,
love to see them.
We will talk about this over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of episodes of the 4 episodes, because we do it every couple of weeks. But we will address the fact that the audience rejected any other version. The audience wants.
There were other versions.
They want Ron Perlman. They want what we want. Like I think he has and I think people undersell his performance in that role because it is definitive. It's definitive as Christopher Lee doing his version of Superman. It's definitive as Michael Keaton doing his Batman. What he did with Hellboy is Hellboy. I don't think anyone who's seen these films and think back to it, think of Hellboy and not think of this iteration, this look, this voice, this personality.
Well, yeah, it's trying to recast Wolverine.
Good luck with that.
If Hugh Jackman is still around, I pity anybody who takes the part of Wolverine. That's why I don't think Marvel should cast Wolverine for at least another 15 years, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're seeing anything until 2030s with Wolverine. There's no way.
I don't think Deadpool was kidding. I really think Marvel's going to make Hugh Jackman do it until he's 90.
You don't blame
the old man Wolverine by that point.
Mate, well,
old man Hellboy sitting in the rocker across from I know.
Well, here in Australia, we've been getting all the sordid details of the divorce and how much his ex is getting. So yeah, he will need to be working till he's 90.
Yeah, well, you know.
There you go. Though she deserves it, Deborah Lee Furness. I will say that you deserve it, love. You were there at the beginning, way before he became famous, and she's a famous Australian actress too. Never got international notoriety, but she was a famous Australian actress. And about 14 years older than she. Sugar mama.
Well, you know what they say, older women make beautiful lovers.
Yeah, all right. No worries. I will be heading to the nursing home after this. No.
Come here, baby. Sit in grandma's lap.
Now, what more can we say about this? We do this sometimes on the show. We find ourselves just agreeing with the problem is we don't disagree enough, probably. And it just goes because we've got great taste. That's why we agree
maybe
so much.
I will end up liking the David Harbour Hellboy.
I dare you.
Or maybe I will end up liking Hellboy the Crooked Man, because I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw that one. That was one of those ones where they kind of made it and they were like, oh no, here, streaming.
No.
No.
Yeah. I will be interested to see that one more than the one that we do on the next VHS Vault, but we don't have to do that one straight away. We do have some roadblocks before we finish off this franchise. And what are those roadblocks, Jace?
Oh my goodness. Well, next week we are going to be looking at this is your pick, which number one kind of makes me mad because it's one of my favorite movies. But you picked The Fifth Element, which I absolutely adore. I think that The Fifth Element is one of the best science fiction movies of all time. Spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the other spoiler for it was the fact that no one knew when that thing was coming. It was so fresh. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember going and watching it, not knowing what the movie was going to be about. Just saying, well, it's a science fiction movie. It's got Bruce Willis in it. It looks really colorful. I'm curious. I went and saw it. I came out and I was with my brother. I just looked at him and said, that was one of the coolest movies I've seen in a long time.
To me, that movie, and we'll have lots to say about it, is the moment early on the film where that drugged out, cracked out robber tries to break in to Bruce Willis's apartment with that head thing on his head. And I'm like, this film was whacked out. I love it. I love it.
It's an incredible movie. But you know what? We will talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to say
next time.
What's after?
The week after that, of course, we are going to be taking a look at the David Harbour Hellboy.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
However, the week after that, we're actually jumping back in to one of our franchise retrospectives because, surprise, they released a new Predator movie a couple of months back. Predator Killer of Killers, and we are going to take a look at that in 3 weeks.
Look, yeah, we'll talk about that when it comes. But if you haven't seen it out there, guys, if you're watching this pretty well quickly out, how cool is that latest trailer for the Predator movie, Badlands?
It's going in a direction that I was not expecting. And
yeah, it feels like the
that in
universe,
the best possible way.
I feel like the universe has been kind to us, Jason, because they're like, oh, you had to watch the Predator. We'll make a couple more films we'll make 3 more films that are really good for you. You know, the universe going, we put you through hell.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be they're pulling a fast one on us. It's going to be an Alien versus Predator movie.
Well, I don't think there's an alien in it.
I bet you that's the final boss.
Well, they invoke a lot of aliens mythology in that trailer. They do.
Mm-hmm. You saw the Weyland-Yutani. You saw the android. Yeah.
I saw the construction unit at the end. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they've always said the best way to do an Alien versus Predator movie is to not let anybody know it's an Alien Predator movie. No. And I was watching this just thinking, there's going to be an alien in this thing.
Well, that's such great instinct if you are going to go that way with that franchise, because we know the worlds exist. You don't have to sell it to us. In fact, like the strength of Predator at the moment, thankfully, and Alien, because they both had amazing recent films, has now created a scenario where even the studio can go into confidence and go, we don't need to spill the audience on this because they're here to see Predator. Like, we could actually add this bonus in, and even if we don't talk about it beforehand, people are going to come out in numbers and watch this film. I'm fascinated to see, because this is a theatrical release, this Predator Badlands, which will be the first time it's had a theatrical release since 2018 to the Predator, which was a financial flop. So hopefully people go and see it.
I am stoked that the Predator is going to be the protagonist, and that they're going to give him a personality, and he's going to be an actual character and everything.
It has dialogue, Jason.
I know. Okay. It's so funny because whenever we watch the Predator or the Predators, I can't remember which one we watched, but I think it was the Predator, because they subtitled the Predator at one point. And I was like, oh, they should not do that. No, never do that. And then they're showing subtitles with this Predator, and I'm just thinking, okay, this might work.
Well, it's back and forward too.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
To infuse a bit more charisma into the android, love it.
Oh, love it. Yeah, she's great. I don't even know anything about her, and I just think she's awesome.
She's like, okay, well, good luck with that kind of, like, she's got some really great little lines and kind of eye roll moments in it, which I think is really important. And she's basically playing C-3PO from Empire Strikes Back for a chunk of the movie, by the looks of it, by being on Chewie's back. Which I'm totally cool with, because I think that will work as well. Because I love that moment. Like, I can help you. And he's holding up a torso, literally. And then just drops her, which I think is just magic. But yeah, lots of great stuff. So yeah, we will be talking about Predator for a while. Yeah, and the same with Aliens. I think we were going to be talking about these franchises for a while. All right.
Absolutely. And I am happy to.
So, but you know what? We won't say it now, Jason, but this is the tip of the iceberg for the next 6 months of amazing content we're going to be talking about. Amazing movies.
Indeed.
We have got some unbelievable, and we keep stacking the deck, guys. We keep stacking the deck. Like even the other day, even though we have no room, we're attacking a franchise again, and we're squeezing it in. So we are pot committed, and you guys... You need to hang around and see some of these amazing films that we are going to talk
about. We're going to have to do a special.
We are. So yes, like this is it. I think we've talked enough about Hellboy 2. It's a great film. Go see it. We've talked about what's coming up. Jason, can we now talk about how these guys connect with VHS Vault and keep being on this journey with us?
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please visit the video description below for our link to our Patreon, where you can support us for as little as $5 a month, or you can mosey on over to our channel main page and become a YouTube channel subscriber. In either case, you get all of this delicious content early, and of course, if you have a request, we will most certainly entertain it, especially if it's a movie that we really like or a movie that we really don't like, because we are masochists.
Ooh, yes, please. If it's horrible, you know. In fact, I'm not going to say how, but I know there's one genre. If you pick a film from that genre, it will bring Jason to his knees. Actual comedy. Anyway. Yeah. But I don't want to say it. So let's go. We'll see you next time on the VHS Vault.